Hey neighbors, welcome to my Trash to Treasure video. It's an open collab hosted by this Southern Girl Can and co-hosted by Tapstick Design and Crafty Leanie. Their channel links and a link to the playlist will be in my description box below. I truly enjoyed these transformations and I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about it. I'm just going to say what I always say, which is sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the video. Project number 1, Faux Crate Floral Arrangement. So I found that little box under the sink and I felt like I had just cleaned under the sink, but there it was. And I thought, you know what, this box is kind of the size of a crate. Like, let's do a faux crate here. And I've had these purple roses been sitting around for a couple of years, so that was the focus of the project. I'm going to wrap the box in some nice fabric from Walmart, but first I'm going to paint it just to give it a nice light background. So I'm painting the sides, the ends, and just a little bit into the inside, but not on the bottom. We don't need it on the bottom. And I don't want the paint like rubbing against wherever the box is sitting. So what we're going to do is wrap the fabric all the way around the box with the raw edge of the fabric on the bottom. And then we'll just wrap another like extra inch maybe to finish it up. Oh, and I wish I had kept the audio in for this part where you start the fabric with a pair of scissors and then you just rip it. There's just something about that sound that is so satisfying. But I didn't think to keep it. But anyways, so here we are. I went ahead and put the Mod Podge on there to get it started. And then I'm going to finish it with the Mod Podge right away as we go. With like napkins and decoupage paper, I wouldn't do that. I would wait for it to dry and then I would finish it with Mod Podge. But when I'm using fabric, I like to finish it like right away. And here we're getting to the last bit here. We're going to trim off the last of it. That's the easiest way for me. You know, some people are going to be taking measurements of the box or whatever, but I find this works for me. And I feel like I didn't waste too much either. So we're going to get a little bit of Mod Podge on the inside now. And then once I was finished getting all the inside Mod Podged up, we're just going to push that fabric down in there. This just in case you're looking in, you know, there might be a gap in the flowers, whatever, so you always just want to finish a little bit on the inside. And then we're just going to push the fabric down and give it a little tug so it lays flat against the cardboard. And then I'll get some hot glue on the bottom here to hold on to the floral foam. And I'm getting my flowers all the way in, but stuff was moving around too much, so I ended up taking my flowers back out, putting more hot glue in on the floral foam, and then getting my flowers in. So I'll just show you the process real quick here. I trimmed the dowels for really long that the flowers were on, so I had to do like serious trimming, and even now I look at it and think it could be just a tiny bit shorter. But I like to start in the middle, so I started with one in the middle, and then I just sort of thought about it. Do I want 3 on the sides? Do I want 2 on the sides? And just kind of, you know, made something that looked good, you know, it made my eyes happy. Who says that? Made my eyes happy. But yeah, it made me happy to look at. I looked at it and it made me happy. So anyways, yes, we're getting everything in, and then everything was staying put finally. And I grabbed the dried baby's breath that actually came with the original bouquet And I hadn't even thought to use it in the beginning, but I love how it looks. So I'm glad I thought of it. I'll give you a great look at this during the final review. Project 2 and 3 are wood redos, so a wood plaque redo and a wood block redo. So this is this old plaque that's been in the garage for, I want to say, 20 years. I'm pretty sure it sat in a wet box at some point because we did have a couple of floods in the garage. So we're going to give it some new life. I tried sanding it and cleaning it, rubbing alcohol, and that yellow just wasn't coming off. So I'm just going to paint it with the Adirondack chalk paint. And then I had a old piece of block. It almost looks like, it didn't look like it was cut off of something, like the end was messed up. So I think I got like, because I've got a couple of boxes of wood scraps in the past, so I think maybe it came from one of those. So they both got a coat of Adirondack paint, and then I pulled out this decoupage paper that I recently purchased from Sammy, a Unicorn Dust Design, and basically I just took the whole piece of decoupage paper and just kind of put it over top of the shape, because that was the best way to see what was going to be cut off, like what the boundaries were. It was just too hard to, like, put the oval shape near it and look at it. So that's what I did. It got a coat of Mod Podge, and then the decoupage paper right on top until I liked where it was. I used the Hippo Heat press to reactivate the Mod Podge, as they say. And now I have my sandpaper. So I'm just going to sandpaper off where it overhangs. And I'm not even going to use a knife or scissors or nothing. We're just going to sandpaper everything until it looks like it's part of that little plaque. And I did want to have those birds in the middle, but the way the paper was made, the birds were too close to the edge. So that's why I kind of made it like this. And then I have these little springy flowers that I purchased when I was in Canada. So I trimmed some of those to make like a little swag for the top. I think maybe 3 or 4 little pieces, just for some small embellishment on the top. And then just a regular shoestring bow. I'm going to put on another little piece of the floral in the middle, just to have something for the bow to glue onto. Okay, let's get that bow down. We're going to trim the ends. That way we can still see this cool decoupage paper, but still have that little flourish on top. Now I'm basically going to do the same thing with the block of wood. I painted it white, painted it with Mod Podge, waited for the Mod Podge to dry, put the decoupage paper over top till I liked what I saw, and used my Hippo Heat Press to iron it on. I also did a quick sanding like I did on the plaque. And then I'm going to put the embellishment on the corner of this one just because of the way the images are. And again, I'm just going to do a little shoestring bow. I find the little flourish is nice, but simple. And I'll show you both of these during the final reveal. Project number 4, Star Jar. And when I first heard about this playlist, This was the project that I wanted to make more than anything else. I done a lot of jars and pieces of light fixtures. I really like doing them with Mod Podge and food coloring. I feel like that turns out really nice. But what I'm going to do here is use these star stickers that I made on my Cricut. And they're different sizes because they're left over from a project I did probably last year at about this time. And so I'm just putting them randomly on the jar. I've already cleaned the jar with some rubbing alcohol. And got the different shapes sort of, away from each other, so it's like a good mix. And I'm going to put the Mod Podge in one of these little condiment bowls here, and then I just took a small paintbrush and scooped out a little bit of that mica powder. And there was several different kinds of mica powder. I got like a huge box, like 144 jars of mica powder. So if anyone needs mica powder, let me know, because I would not miss any that I gave away. Okay, so just stirred it up until the color looked even. I made sure not to use one that had glitter in it, because I just felt like we weren't going to get an even coating. The nice thing about the mica powder is it's just like mixed into the Mod Podge and went on like paint. So I just painted up and down, top to bottom, and just kept twisting the jar as I go. And I ran out of Mod Podge, and I still wanted some more color on there. So I made up some more, just like the first mix. And I also wanted to make sure I got the top part of the jar. You'll notice it doesn't seem as dark on the top part there. So just twist the jar and paint the Mod Podge on. And we actually are painting Mod Podge. That's funny, because you always say that by accident. Then pulling off those little stars, it was a little bit tricky because the Mod Podge wanted to come with the stars, so we kind of had to hold the Mod Podge down when we were pulling off the star stickers. And I figured it didn't have to be perfect because I just wanted them there for the light to shine through. I'm going to wrap the top with string. I left uncolored area up top there to wrap the string around, and I'm going to put a little finger bow on there. My finger bow, I just wrap the twine around my fingers and then twist it into a bow shape. And I just put a little dabs of hot glue every once in a while as I'm wrapping it, and then here's the bow. And I'm just going to make sure I have two pieces to make the tails. And then I'm just going to use some hot glue to attach it to where I've wrapped the string around. And I'm going to give you a couple of different looks of this in the final review. I'm going to show you with some fairy lights and with like a twinkling tea light candle. So enjoy the final reveal.